It's fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website and YouTube channel Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now, two lawyers, Mark Leibler and Jeremy Leibler, have decided they can go onto Twitter, or X as it's known, and start abusing people they don't like, specifically in relation to Palestine. People who are supporting Palestine, well, they don't like it. So they've decided they'll just go onto Twitter and start abusing people, accusing them of being anti-Semitic. Now, this is important because Australia, well, federal government's just brought in new hate speech laws, and the New South Wales government today attended new hate speech laws to Parliament, and they'll probably pass in the near future. Now, Mark Leibler and Jeremy Leibler are high-profile members of the Jewish community, and given their lawyers, you'd think they'd know better. Now, I'll read you out their posts, then I'll read you out some of the comments they received on Twitter, and then I'll read you out a letter broadcast on the Jewish Council of Australia website. Now, it says on Mark Leibler's Twitter account, he's a senior Australian taxation lawyer, corporate strategist with a strong commitment to social justice and reconciliation. Now, on the 8th of February 2025, he posted a comment on Twitter at 10:11 p.m. at night, and it's had 378,000 views. And his comment says, "Nothing but nothing is worse than those Jews who level totally unfounded allegations of genocide and ethnic cleansing against the state of Israel. They are repulsive and revolting human beings. The relatives who were murdered by the Nazis, the role models for Hamas, will undoubtedly be turning in their graves. Their avowed anti-Zionism is clearly no more than a cover for the reality that they are vicious anti-Semites." Now, I'll read you out some of the comments. Comment 1, unless the new hate speech laws have some sort of exception for Zionists, then Mr. Leibler should be locked up for his vile anti-Semitism against Jewish people. Comment number 2, can't wait for your mandatory sentence to be imposed for what is clearly a hate crime. No doubt some ethical Jewish anti-Zionist individuals and or groups will pursue this. Comment number 3, the Nazis said what you're saying. Are you saying that the Holocaust was just propaganda? Look in the mirror, O evil one. Comment number 4, people of Jewish faith who are willing to speak out against the incredibly well-documented genocide being conducted by Israel are braver and more aligned to their faith than any bullying Zionist thug will ever be. Now, those comments I got from below Mark Leibler's post on Twitter, but normally I'd name the people who are doing the comment, but I thought I won't this time in case they end up getting abused. Because when a high-profile lawyer like Mark Leibler goes on to social media saying that sort of dribble, he's giving the green light to others to say it as well and abuse other Jews who they don't agree with. Now, Jeremy Leibler also recently posted on Twitter, and it says on his Twitter account he's the president, Zionist Federation of Australia, partner at the law firm Arnold Block Leibler, so is Mark Leibler, and a member of the Australian Takeovers panel. Well, he's on the government payroll, member of the Australian Takeovers panel. I assume they get paid. It's a government body. He should be booted from that, because let's have a listen to what he says. Now, on the 12th of February, which was a Wednesday at 2:03 p.m, which is working hours, so he would have been at work, he posted a comment and it says, instead of creating safe rooms for Jewish students, perhaps Macquarie Uni should consider making the rest of the campus unsafe for anti-Semites. They would need to start with some of their academic staff like Randa Abdel Fattah. Now, I'll read you out 3 of the comments. Now, comment 1 says, I'm not sure publicly calling for a person to feel unsafe at their workplace of employment is the way I'd go about getting my point across. But I guess it's more about outrage baiting than reality for a Zionist like you, isn't it? Comment 2, I thought doxing was illegal in Australia. Comment 3, Mr. Leibler, I've reported your post calling for violence against Randa Abdel Fattah. Now, it doesn't matter what the situation is. Jeremy Leibler is actually calling for violence against a lot of people because he says Macquarie Uni should consider making the rest of the campus unsafe for anti-Semites. Now, we know from Mark Leibler, if you don't agree with Israel committing genocide in Gaza, they consider you to be an anti-Semite. Once again, it's a call out to their supporters to, hey, harass people at Macquarie University, isn't it? Now, there's media reports that Randa Abdel Fattah has been getting harassed by a lot of people. And I come across a letter on the Jewish Council of Australia website. And it's addressed to Jason Clare MP, which I understand he's a federal education minister. And it says, Dear Mr. Clare, the Jewish Council urges you to reject the coordinated malicious campaigns by Israel lobby groups to interfere with the academic freedom of Palestinian and First Nation scholars. We write to you in response to the campaigns being run by various Israel lobby groups to silence the voices of Palestinians and others who speak out against Israel's atrocities. As a group of Jewish academics, lawyers, writers and teachers who represent a significant and growing number of Jewish people in Australia, we urge you not to cave to these campaigns, which are anti-democratic, racist in nature and based on the deliberate spreading of misinformation. We are particularly concerned by comments made by you that you would investigate award-winning Palestinian academic Dr. Randa Abdel Fattah's Australian Research Centre grant. This would represent a severe political interference into the ARC, something you have previously cautioned against. We also raise concerns regarding the coordinated attempts to bully and exert pressure against other academics who write on issues of racism and in regard to Palestine, including First Nations Professor Chelsea Watego and the First Nations-led Karumba Institute at the Queensland University of Technology. We note at a recent Senate inquiry hearing Professor Watego was falsely represented as anti-Semitic in ways that are extremely damaging to her work in opposing racism against First Nations people. Any political or institutional action taken against academics at the behest of Israel lobby groups and Murdoch press smear campaigns would represent a severe intrusion into all of our rights to free speech and academic freedom. The campaigns run by the Israel lobby against those who speak out against Israel's atrocities against Palestinians are designed to intimidate individuals into silence. In particular, they are designed to erase Palestinian voices from public discourse. Reputable human rights organisations, including Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch, have found that Israel has committed acts of genocide against Palestinians. Groups which have spent the last 16 months lobbying for the continuation of Israel's genocide war should not be taken seriously by anyone as experts on racism or anti-Semitism. Now, more than ever, we need to listen to the voices of Palestinian and Aboriginal academics who have been engaged in scholarship which exposes the structures which have enabled Israel's actions to continue. It is incumbent on all politicians, universities and others receiving pressure from Israel lobby groups to not only resist those attacks on the intellectual freedom and academic integrity of individuals, but further to condemn the racist, reactionary and divisive campaign which produces them. Anything less will be a capitulation to the most corrosively anti-intellectual forces in Australian society, which will harm not only Palestinian and First Nations academics, but the entire university sector. We would urge you, along with the university leaders in the ARC, to reject the anti-democratic, racist and insidious attacks against these academics and all other academics who speak out against Israel's atrocities. Universities are the key line of defence against rising racism and fascism around the world, and we must be steadfast in guarding their academic freedom and independence. Sincerely, Dr. Max Kaiser, on behalf of the Jewish Council of Australia. Now, it's pretty obvious that Mark Leibler and his brother Jeremy Leibler, their support base is diminishing and they're going on the attack, attacking people, abusing people, encouraging other people to abuse people. These are lawyers, high-profile lawyers. They go into social media and start abusing people and attacking people like that. They encourage others to do it. They give them the green light. They're saying, hey, we're lawyers, so this is all okay. It's all legal. You can abuse people, you can use hate speech against people, promote violence against people. And Mark Leibler said, perhaps Macquarie Uni should consider making the rest of the campus unsafe for anti-Semites. Well, what's he mean? People should get beat up, assaulted, murdered, who knows? And then when he names a female academic, Randa Abdel Fattah, that's cowardly. That is gutless and cowardly thing to do. Now, if a Muslim academic or Muslim lawyer was to name Jeremy Leibler's wife and say, hey, maybe we should make her workplace unsafe for her, what would happen then, eh? Now, this video is a follow-up to a previous video and article I published. The article was titled, Peter Dutton, Bill Shorten and Tony Abbott received free legal services from law firm Arnold Block Leibler, ? Why? And that was published on the 2nd February 2025. I published a video on the same matter titled, Is Peter Dutton being bribed by lawyers Arnold Block Leibler? That's Mark and Jeremy Leibler, their law firm. And I'll put a link to that video below this video on YouTube so you can watch that as well. Or you can visit my website and read that article. Make sure you help shine a light on the corruption I just mentioned in this video and share this video on social media. And please hit the like and subscribe and notification button so you get notified every time I publish a new video. Kangaroo Court of Australia's independent media. I publish a website and a YouTube channel, and I'm 100% crowdfunded from viewers like yourself. So it'd be greatly appreciated if you make a donation. You can donate any amount, $3, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month, whatever suits your budget. It'll help you out in a big way, or you can do one-off donations. And you can donate via PayPal or Patreon. And the links for the PayPal and Patreon account will be below this video on YouTube and also on my website. Or you can go to my website and click on the donations page for other donation options. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.